Hey guys, John V here from Phone Arena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the LG DoublePlay. It's available right now through T-Mobile for a 2-year contract price of only $99.99, $100 for this one. Now what makes the DoublePlay unique is that it sports a split-style QWERTY keyboard and also incorporates a smaller 2-inch display, which gives you access to some of the handset's core functionality. Unfortunately, there isn't really anything alluring about the LG DoublePlay's design. It's just big, heavy, and boring looking, kind of bulky too by today's standards, even though it packs a physical QWERTY keyboard. Now, it's constructed of plastic, it has this metal speckled look to it in the back, is a shiny look, but it does attract a lot of fingerprints and debris, unfortunately. The metal strip here doesn't add anything to functionality, it's just there for aesthetics, and overall, just a boring looking handset. By now, we've grown accustomed to seeing WVGA resolution on most mid-range devices, but with the LG DoublePlay, it features a 3.5-inch HVGA, so that's 320 by 480 resolution. With that, details aren't as sharp, but especially with fine text in the web browser, kind of difficult to make out. But we do like the deep color tones it produces with its standard LCD panel. Unfortunately, its high brightness output is not that strong, and of course, when you combine that with its weak viewing angles, kind of difficult to make out in outdoor conditions. And you'd think that the split-style QWERTY layout would be an improvement to the typing experience, but in all honesty, it's a little more of a hindrance in our experience. First of all, buttons are made of plastic, kind of flat, very difficult to distinguish the buttons between them all, and they have a really stiff feel to when you press it down, so it doesn't really give you the best experience, and we just find ourselves kind of slow in typing up long messages. Yeah, another thing that makes the LG DoublePlay so unique is that it offers a second touchscreen display like the Kyocera Echo, but instead offers a significantly smaller size one, 2-inch display right there that separates the keyboard. That only offers some of the core functionality such as checking out your text messages. You could also get your group messages, your music player. You have also your photo viewer where you could share your photos with different social networking accounts. Your browser, which only gives you your bookmarks, so you can't browse the web within there. You have your email, so a quick preview of that. Your Social Plus application, which aggregates your social networking accounts. And you also have your calendar on there for you. But it's just limited with its functionality. You can't really do too much with it. The neat thing that we like about it is that it definitely helps the multitasking aspect. So, for example, let's say you're browsing the web, the main display. You could actually go back and still compose a text message without, moving out of the main application up top, which is definitely useful. And if you want to jump right into there, you could always press the up button right here and puts it up to the main display. So it's nice that it offers those multitasking aspects, but it doesn't really dramatically change the experience. Naturally, you find the usual set of Android capacitive buttons. They're placed well away from the sides to reduce any accidental presses. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we just find the narrow-looking earpiece, and strangely, for a 4G device, it lacks a front-facing camera. On the left side of the phone, you have nothing but the micro USB port hidden behind the plastic flap for data and charging connectivity. And on the opposite edge, we find nothing but the volume rocker, volume up, volume down, easy to make out, and they have a good solid feel to it. And on the top side of the phone, we have the well-defined dedicated power button, a really responsive tactile feel to it, and a 3.5mm headset jack. Lastly, we have a 5-megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash in the rear. Removing the back cover, you just gotta simply yank it off. It gives you access to the battery, you have the SIM card slot and the micro SD card slot, and there's a 2GB card preloaded. So with the LG DoublePlay, it actually features a single-core processor, and interestingly enough, you could tell here as we're moving between the home screens with the live wallpaper activated, it's able to exhibit some really nice fast response with its movement, and overall we're very satisfied with it. Buttery smooth for the most part, and for all other basic tasks, it's able to execute them without that much lag or slowdown, so you can quickly get into whatever you need to do. So as you can probably tell, the handset features the same customized Android experience found on other LG smartphones, and it's running on top of Android 2.3.4 Gingerbread. It offers a lot of personalization, obviously, such as the useful weather widget right there. You have also another one here, the social networking. It aggregates all your accounts. If you execute a pinch gesture, it gets you into Leap View, so you can view all the home screens simultaneously. And with the app counts laid out in your traditional grid-like view, if you do a pinch gesture, you could actually minimize the application listing here, and you could also manage the categories as well. If you happen to be big on text messaging, you'll definitely appreciate the messaging-oriented features found on the LG DoublePlay. For example, you have cloud texting available for you, so you can send and receive text messages both on the handset and even through an internet-connected computer. You have even a group texting application, which allows you to send text messages to multiple recipients for better organization. And of course, you have the regular standard SMS option here for you. With the on-screen keyboard, it's very cramped, obviously, but it does exhibit a good, fast response response with its movement. Landscape options a little bit more ideal, and honestly, we found it a lot better to use than the physical keyboard on board the handset. And in terms of options, you have both the Android keyboard and the swipe one. Obviously, with its hardware specs and all, it's going to offer a decent web browsing experience, especially with 4G HSPA Plus connectivity on board. With its navigational controls, it's not the most responsive there, but does get the job done. It handles Flash well, but every now and then there's a little bit of choppiness, and overall, it's a decent experience. When it comes to playing some music, we're greeted with the stock Android music player. It's more than functional at its core. It displays the usual items such as the album cover and even the controls. With the audio quality, it's kind of average with its overall volume output. It does tend to sound a little bit on the sharp side, so it can sound a little bit irritating at the same time. Luckily though, you have equalizer settings to better fine-tune to the specific genre of music that you're listening to. So when it comes to watching videos, the LG DoublePlay is actually able to play videos that are in 720p resolution. Unfortunately, there's no 1080p support. The video we have here is encoded in DivX, 1080 by 720 resolution. As you can tell, good frame rate, no jitteriness or slowdown with its movement. The display's not the best thing out there, but it's more than reasonable for the experience. Even though it doesn't shoot the prettiest shots, the 5-megapixel autofocus camera found on the LG DoublePlay is more than decent with its quality. In outdoor conditions, details are average, and the color production is a little bit on the cooler side. Under indoor conditions, artificial lighting, we tend to see a little bit more bland-looking colors, but luckily the LED flash does a good job illuminating the scenery, but in extreme low lighting conditions, there tends to be a lot of graininess. Unfortunately, details are rather slim and faint with the 720p video capture on the LG DoublePlay, but overall, it does take some acceptable looking videos. It captures at a smooth frame rate of 30 frames per second. It does offer continuous autofocus and colors on the neutral side, although the audio recording is a little bit scratchy at best, but as a whole, they're more than pleasing to our eyes. Calling quality is definitely on the subpar side, just because on our end line through the earpiece we definitely hear some noise, and with voices they're rather muffled in tone. On the other end line, our callers didn't have too much of an issue. Voices are for the most part distinctive on their end line, but when we switch to using the speakerphone, we're still presented with muffled sounding voices. In our time testing out the LG DoublePlay, it exhibits a solid connection to network in high coverage areas, but we did experience just one single drop call. Without a doubt, we got to hand it to LG for thinking outside the box and producing something new with the whole QWERTY form factor, but ultimately in the end with its split stock QWERTY layout, it's a little bit more of a challenge and ultimately fails in being a QWERTY based handset. Instead, we choose to use the on-screen keyboard most of the time. With the additional touchscreen board, it's nice that it offers some multitasking elements, but it doesn't really strengthen, deepen, or even enhance the experience on the handset. And when you combine that, it has a very boring looking design, doesn't really come off as an alluring device, but it still offers a responsive platform experience and also some messaging oriented aspects out there. But for $99.99, $100 on contract, you're better off probably spending that on other devices. So if you'd like to learn more about the LG DoublePlay, you can check out our website, phonearena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching, guys.